Happy monstering! And welcome to another episode of My Singing Monsters Live, your one-stop shop for everything to do with My Singing Monsters. We are your hosts, Monster Handler Matt.
And Monster Handler Eric. Another exciting week in the Monster World, Monster Handler Matt.
Here we are again. It's lovely to see you, Monster Handler Eric. And as per usual, we are joined behind the scenes by Monster Handler Michael and Monster Handler Sydney as well. So everyone say hi to Michael and Sydney. They are diligently helping to make yet another episode of My Singing Monsters Live come to life. As Eric said, there's lots of exciting stuff to talk about this week, but before we get into all that, we want to begin this episode the way we begin all episodes of My Singing Monsters Live, with an explanation of how the giveaway works. Perhaps you were enticed to tune in. Perhaps this is your 78th broadcast that you've joined us for, or maybe it's your very first, but regardless, we explain how it works every single time because it bears repeating. Eric, would you like to explain to the kind people at home or wherever it is that they're tuning in from how they may enter today's giveaway?
I would love to. To everyone at home or wherever they may be tuning in from, all they have to do is type !giveaway into the chat right here on YouTube while we're streaming. At the end of the episode, we will draw a single name. If that's your name on YouTube, please, in the chat, enter your BBB ID /friend code so that we can get you the prize for this week. Now, what is the prize, you may ask? Why don't we tell you?
Oh, Eric, stop right there. We always leave it a surprise. Every episode of My Singing Monsters Live is a surprise. So you got to tune in. You got to watch the whole episode. You got to learn stuff about the Monster World. You got to watch all the segments, and then potentially you'll get your prize. But the first thing, before we do any of that fun stuff, is let's go back and take a look at what happened on this day in Monster World history, all the way back. Oh, we've got multiple years here to discuss. All the way back in 2014, the Wobbox made its debut on Earth Island. That was the first time that it had appeared, and of course, previous natural islands were inhabited by Wobbox before that, but it was the last of the natural islands to receive to be graced with Wobbox's presence. In 2015, Rare Riff was released for the very first time. Oh, that lovely quad element boss of Air Island, the Rare Riff. And it helped us learn a little bit more about the symbiotic relationship between its sentient guitar. More came to light with the Rare's discovery. And then in 2019, we had a double feature for Epics. We had Epic Octopus and Epic Chorister released at the same time. Some of the only Epics to be released in a partnership other than the ones that were released during anniversary month 2018. Very interesting, very exciting, and both with sort of a vegetable theme. And why does this work perfectly? Well, it's because fast forwarding to today, we've got the Rare Ruta Toot making its big debut on Psychic Island. It is available to buy or breed at level 9 on that magical island, and this is quite the rare to behold, Monster Handler Eric. I love it, and you know what? Beholding it is helpful because we have eyes, and carrots are good for your eyes, and it all sort of comes full circle. Connected as well to a psychic /space theme. We've got our promotion this weekend, our Spaced Out, in which featured Interstellar Rare Ethereals, Rare Rebro, and Rare Dragong are available to buy or breed. Rare Rebro, I think it's fairly clear what's sort of interstellar about it, but some people might be wondering, what's so interstellar about Rare Dragong? Well, if you look carefully in this announcement, you can see a hint as to what it is about Rare Dragong that makes it interstellar. I'll mention that the initials MP are very important. MP. In addition, we get 50% off the permanent Bigify feature this weekend. You know what's coming up on Sunday, Eric?
What's that?
Well, it's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day on Sunday. And of course, a mother's love helps us to stand tall. And so to match that, to correspond, we got 50% off Bigify as well. Isn't that lovely? And you can also get up to 50% more in diamond packs this weekend as well. The more you get, the better the value. And finally, you can get 3 times more in diamond, coin, and treat offer walls this weekend. So if you complete offer walls, offers in the offer wall, you get 3 times the regular value. An excellent offer. Okay, moving over to Dawn of Fire. This was a very exciting week for Dawn of Fire because it's a surprise drop. Version 2.3 was released. for all platforms. And in version 2.3, we had a resolution, some sort of great answer to the space issues that were starting to emerge on some of the other islands. We now have hotels on Party and Space Islands that you can upgrade and check your monsters into so you can manage your collection. Speaking of collections, your improved monster collection menu is also yours for the perusing. This upgraded feature allows you to see your prismatics as you never have before, and also helps you see what the rarity is of the prismatic monsters that you've collected. I know some people were wondering what the color of the orders of the little sort of buttons were in the menu. That shows you the rarity in order. Mm-hmm. In addition, starting on Wednesday, when 2.3 released, you could get 25 to 50% more in diamond and coin packs. Once again, the more you get, the better the value. And starting just today, we've never run this sale ever before, so I'm very excited about it. You can get 50% off the second castle on the continent.
Wow.
And you're going to want that. So, we added beds. There's more bed space now on the outer islands, but let's not forget all about the continent. Remember that you'll need 2 castles on the continent in order to display one of every unique monster species. So great opportunity to get it for 50% off this weekend. In addition, you can also get 2 times more in diamond and coin offer walls in Dawn of Fire, again to celebrate Mother's Day, and Prismatic Cana, of course. We can't forget about Prismatic Cana, available on Party and Cave Islands this weekend. I think I might have skipped over it in my excitement, but it's featured here. It's featured here in this beautiful graphic about the 2 times more in the diamond and coin offer wall. So don't forget, it is of course the first fire monster to venture into the Prism Gate and to come back quite changed, quite morphed at the molecular level. And finally, one more exciting piece of news this week. It comes just a week or so after My Singing Monsters composer's second birthday. This awesome app is now available in the Google Play Pass service. Wow. What is Google Play Pass, you might be wondering? Well, it's your pass to hundreds of awesome games and apps, completely free of ads and in-app purchases. This, of course, is on the Android platform, and it's all for one low monthly price. For those of you who are wondering, you can Google Play Pass to learn more. Right now, I believe the service is only available in the United States, so that's something to keep in mind. But we're so excited that My Singing Monsters Composer is included in the Google Play Pass service. Very exciting. So if you are a subscriber of that service, you'll be able to get My Singing Monsters Composer absolutely free. Very exciting.
Amazing.
Very exciting. I'm sure the community is just buzzing with ideas and questions in a section that we like to call Quick Questions. Which the community sends in those questions, and me, Monster Handler Matt, I will do my best to answer them for you. Monster Handler Eric, are you prepared to ask me some of these questions?
Oh boy, am I ever. We have a lot of interesting ones this week too.
Okay,
some very eagle-eyed and eagle-eared, if you will, fans.
Yes, I believe eagles have good hearing as well. Yes.
So starting right off from Night Vibes, how come at the end of the 2.3 trailer, referring to the Dawn of Fire video that released this week, Pom Pom sung a part that it doesn't sing in game?
Oh, yes, so we can't pull any fast ones on you, community. Yes, we did sneak a little Easter egg, even though Easter's over for the year. We did sneak a little Easter egg in there at the end of the trailer because we thought there was no better opportunity than now, when we're talking about Party Island, to sort of tuck in a little behind-the-scenes nugget of a work-in-progress part for Pom Pom, so some inside baseball, so to speak. Pom Pom's part on Party Island was eventually replaced with Cana, and Pom Pom still, of course, sings "Come On Over," but it does so in sort of counterpoint to Cana's part, and sort of fills the little rest parts there. So we thought it might be fun to show you what the Pom Pom recording was for that section, and also on a sneakier level, it perhaps indicates one of the monsters that maybe is going to be journeying into the in the future, maybe. But you're right. Yes. What foolishness! I don't know what I was thinking.
Those lyrics were very important to that video. So it only made sense to show them on
Yeah,
in every
you have to come on over. That's right.
And then speaking of monster parts, Explorer Monster asks, in the Dawn of Fire trailer video, did Eric sing Furcorn's part during the ride of the Valkyrie section? I am known for sneaking my voice into videos here and there, and I am a hobbyist Furcorn impersonator, but no, I can honestly say I did not contribute to that video.
Eric, I'm going to stop you right there because I think we need to clear the air here. Did Eric sing Furcorn's part? Well, no, Furcorn sang Furcorn's part.
Yes, of course.
That seems fairly self-explanatory to me, but you know that's what Quick Questions is for. You know, we answer the questions and we say. So Eric, you can confirm no, you did not.
No,
is that
correct? I had no vocal responsibility in that video at all.
Yes, you were just the devoted videographer, if I remember.
That's right. I caught quite the moment.
You did. Yes.
Next question comes from Starburst Clown. They ask, just how fungi do in real life? Do prismatic Canas spread spores in any way?
Yes, just as fungi do in real life. So, Starburst Clown, it's a very good theory. Prismatic Cana is so new, so fresh to the monster world, and our monster handling opportunities to research it have been so limited to date. We don't yet quite know. It is interesting to observe, of course, that several of the prismatic Cana colors do have sort of a fungal eruption or growth coming out of their sort of torso, their body cavity. I don't know if that's where these alleged spores might come from, but certainly because the heads of the prismatic Canas are each based on different human world mushroom caps and fungi. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if part of the molecular alterations that Cana underwent when it traveled into the Prism Gate included some new ability to form these spores. But I can confirm, unfortunately, that you will still need to put Cana into the Prism Gate in-game in order to get more prismatic Canas. You can't just wait for the spores to germinate and to spring up new prismatic Canas, unfortunately.
If only. This next question is for both you and Monster Handler Mike. From Monster Friend Bionetric. A question for both Monster Handler Matt and Mike. What are your favorite prismatic Canas?
I do love the blue prismatic Cana. I'll take this opportunity to mention a cool little factoid. Each of the single element prismatics in their least rare form are all different colors. Isn't that wonderful, Eric? So if you collected one of each and you stood them all side by each, they would all be different colors, which is a lovely thing. I like blue, and I think I might also be partial to yellow. It's got that cool sort of lattice, sort of almost like a veil that is extending down on part of the face. And Monster Handler Eric, I hope you don't mind, for today's advertisement for Micing Monsters Live, I placed that mushroom cap atop your Monster Handler head, since your monster, of course, is yellow. I saw it,
and I
yes. Oh, well done.
I am also partial to blue, but I think I'm going to go with red. I obviously was utilizing these different forms a lot throughout the video, where hundreds upon hundreds of prismatics were flying through the air, and I always found red got my attention. So there you go. It is a
very pretty prismatic. It's true.
Mm. Okay, next question comes from Quazook. Was the Rare Ruta Toot intentionally designed off of an Oompa Loompa?
Quazook, this question troubles me a bit because if an Oompa Loompa is the first orange and green thing that comes to mind before a carrot, I would recommend that you eat your fruits and veggies. No, Rare Ruta Toot was not designed off of an Oompa Loompa, although they do share a similar color palette. It was, of course, based off of a carrot, and of course, the common Ruta Toot is based off of a potato. So we're keeping it in the garden. These are sort of garden variety monsters, if you will.
Well, that sort of answers this next question, but we'll go through it just in case you have more info. Lover Rare asks, why does Rare Ruta Toot look like the Easter carrot decoration? To which, of course, they were referring the extravaganza decoration.
Yes, the ginormous carrot. I have a rather simple answer to this one. They look the same because they both inhabit the same world.
Ah.
From an in-universe standpoint, of course, the Rare Ruta Toot underwent a little bit too intense of a sun bathing exercise, and it became a beautiful golden brown, a fiery hue. It's worth mentioning that the rare population of Rare Ruta Toots who aren't as golden, crispy, orange colored are still distinct from their common cousins because they have different attributes, like the lacking of the markings on their face, different shaped teeth, and of course different shaped feet as well. So the rares are still distinct. It's not just the orange color that differentiates them, but because they are both carrot based, we figured that they should look alike.
Vestige Repel wants to know, would Ruta Toot be a good game show host?
Oh. A good game show host, yes. Ruta Toot is an excellent host of fancy soirees and all sorts of funny stuff as well. But in terms of game show, yes, I think there's a quick wit, there's a zest for living that all Ruta Toots share. So I think that they would be excellent game show hosts, but potentially would be perfectly suited to a game show related to big salads. Or other sort of leafy vegetables.
I see. Of course. Radiator Random would like to know, do Fwog and Tring's crystals have a purpose, or are they just for show? Interesting.
Fwog's crystals, I believe, are part of its overall goal to attract a mate. It's part of its sort of appearance that is meant to catch the eye of other monsters, of other Fwogs specifically, which is why they always get so jealous when rare Fwogs are in the vicinity. In terms of Tring's crystals, because the monster has the element of earth and also fire, we can posit perhaps these crystals have something to do with where earth and fire might often be found, that is to say underground, perhaps sometimes near a volcano source, as is the case, of course, on Fire Haven. But we do know as well, of course, specifically with the rare Tring, that its crystals sort of give it sort of a clairvoyant power, an ability to see shortly into the future. So they're both for show, and they do have some purpose as well.
Oh, I'm getting an alert. This is coming in straight from Monster Handler Sydney.
Yeah.
It seems that Monster Handler Michael's favorite prismatic Cana was lost through our home broadcast. So I will reiterate for everyone at home, Michael's favorite was the green prismatic Cana.
Yes.
There we go.
He liked the head pieces. Oh, I'm sorry. It's such a shame, Mike, that we couldn't hear those words. Perhaps you can sort of troubleshoot that issue as we continue quick questions.
Let us know in the chat. While we answer this next question, Nathan 89141478 emphatically asks, is the bigger head of the Cantarell blind?
With multiple question marks, as you say, very emphatic. It certainly doesn't have as strong a vision as its smaller head. It's got sort of a milky quality to its eye. I'm not sure if that's just sort of a trance-like state that it falls into when it's sort of harnessing the hive mind, the collective intelligence of entire Cantarell populations, or whether or not it is in fact just a little hard of sight. But it's interesting because, of course, red prismatic Cana also has a similar milky sort of eye color and sort of quality to it. But I believe that Cana can see quite well. So perhaps Cantarell's milky eye is just an illusion. I don't know. Not a gloptical illusion, I hope, but...
I am made of pasta 1 asks, is electricity in the monster world as common as we use it here?
A very interesting question. I am made of pasta one. Part of what makes the element of electricity in the monster world special, and indeed supernatural, is the fact that no, it is not anywhere as common as it is in the human world. That's part of what makes it special. That's part of what makes the Wobblin family special as well. The fact that they do represent the supernatural element of electricity, and of course Wobblin Island as an extension, of course, also representative of the element of electricity. So no, it is not as common, and that's part of what makes it special.
Well, Monster Handler Matt, we have one more question.
Okay.
To finish up this section, I hope everyone enjoyed it. I know it's been a little bit different. I know there's been a lot of acrobatics and juggling and all sorts of stunts we've been doing. I'm sure everyone's been able to see it very clearly. I'm sure the broadcast has been going through perfectly, and all of these amazing feats have been witnessed. But unfortunately, that comes to an end now. This final question from Guy That Exists, and they ask, you recently said that Tribal Island was in the scene. Oh, your favorite subject, Monster.
Yes. I love the scene.
Could you elaborate on the impact that has on the plot of the game? Because if I remember correctly, the discovery of the Dawn of Fire area and that of Firehaven were both dependent on Tribal Island.
I certainly can elaborate on that, Guy That Exists. So yes, it is true that Tribal Island exists in the scene, which for those of you who are not aware, is the sort of metaphysical space between the human world and the monster world. What's interesting about the scene is that it's not necessarily that one place is divided between two locations. It's almost like the same place appears in its entirety in two locations. So it's not split between them. It sort of is shared in both. So the fact that Tribal Island is connected to the discovery of the Dawn of Fire era and to the rediscovery of Firehaven still makes sense, because it is in an island in its own right in the monster world. But what's interesting about Tribal Island specifically is that it appears to be the fulfillment of an ancient prophecy that put forth the idea that various caretakers of the monster world would come together and collaborate in a spirit of harmony, unity, and inclusion. Now, of course, in-game, we understand that to be the tribes that people can form, and the fact that you can each place a monster as part of the tribe that you belong to, and sing the tribal song together and unlock Kana, of course, that's trapped in the Amber, the mysterious monster of Tribal Island. But the fact that it is also representative of the fulfillment of this prophecy indicates that Tribal Island has an interesting role to play in the overall mythos of my singing monsters, and definitely is as connected to the monster world as it is to the human world. So hopefully that begins to answer some of your questions there, Guy That Exists.
All right, and with that, we've answered the quick questions, but now we have a tougher question, which I believe Monster Handler Mike is going to enter the fray and ask.
Our stump of the day comes to us from Pack of Pangos. Question: what monster has the most tracks on a single island in the recording studio? That question again was, what monster has the most tracks on a single island in the recording studio?
The recording studio, yes, definitely an underrated structure. Love the recording studio, but which monster has the most tracks?
On a single island.
Yes, on a single island, right? Yes, an important qualifier. Thank you for the reminder, Eric. Trying to think of a monster that plays a big part. Stogs are generally heavy lifters on their various islands. They typically play for a lot of the songs that they are a part of. So I'm going to say is Stog. Is it Stog? Stog?
Stump.
Oh, rats. Okay, so lay it on me. What is the correct answer?
The answer was Wallaby. I'm sorry, Matthew.
Wallaby. Very interesting. I would not have guessed that. But that's a lovely monster to have that honor, to have that distinction.
Now, this username prompts one more question from me, Monster Handler Matt.
Yes.
I know you love sharing these, and I know the community loves learning them. What would a pack of Pangos be called?
Yes, a pack of Pangos. Its official collective noun is a pity. A pity of Pangos.
Aha.
A pity of Pangos. Nice alliteration there as well. Pity of Pangos. Pity of Pangos.
Well, it's a pity we don't have time for more Stumped. But the good news is that means we get to
happy
go
about it.
right into monster pieces, which
Hooray!
is my favorite parts of the show.
Great, monster pieces. I'm getting word from our correspondents that the screen is in fact frozen. I don't know if that has been fixed, or now people can see the beautiful monster pieces. So
we will be saving the monster pieces from this week since they don't seem to be cooperating, and we'll be putting them in next week. We'll have maybe an extra long monster piece segment, and we'll have
to make up for it.
Yes, and we'll show all the ones that were supposed to be shown this week and next week.
I hope the screen that is frozen is a flattering one. I hope I'm not making a silly face, but I guess beggars can't be choosers in an instance like this. So.
It would be a shame if this frozen screen had no context, I must say. I hope it's self-explanatory.
So,
now, to make up for the monster
yes.
pieces, should we answer another question or two?
You know what? I think what we should do instead, if we can, and I'll just double check with Monster Handler Sydney whether or not we can do this. I'll message her right now. I'm hoping that perhaps to make up for some of the technical difficulties that we're experiencing, perhaps we can draw 2 giveaway winners.
2 giveaways.
Today.
That's crazy.
Yes, I'm very courageous, but I'm going to ask. I'm going to message Monster Handler Sydney about that right now. While we're coordinating that, why don't you ask me one more question, Monster Handler Eric, to fill the void?
We've got one right here from Cadecraft MSM, and they ask, how old is an octopus?
How old is an octopus? Not quite as old as the hills, but getting pretty close. The octopus was always sort of envisioned as a forest elder sort of a character, as evidenced by the raspy voice. I mentioned it before, but a group of octopi is called a rasp of octopi. But octopus definitely sort of has an old soul vibe. Don't know if it's necessarily older than any of the other monster species dating back to the era of Dawn of Fire, but it definitely acts very wise and venerable.
Very good. Ooh, this question, near and dear to my heart, and one of my favorite t-shirts that I sometimes wear on the show. Copy Paste asks, does Rare Punkleton's heartbeat work?
Beat/work?
Yes.
Does Rare Punkleton's heart beat? As I think that it beats for its common cousin, as evidenced by its likes in game. That's sort of a metaphorical answer, but in terms of whether the physical structure itself actually beats, you know what? I think it remains mostly static in the Rare Punkleton rib cage. I don't know if it necessarily does the thump 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 of a regular heart. It may just sort of chill there in the rib cage.
Very good. This is an interesting one. Harheart239 asks, a handful of islands don't have castles like Wobblin, Celestial, and all of the... Oh, it says all the outer islands in Dawn of Fire. But, well, I suppose they don't. Those are hotels. Do the monsters still have a place to sleep at the end of the day?
Yes, they do, and those are perhaps sort of built into the landscape features of the island itself, because both Celestial and Wobblin Island, some of the examples that were name dropped there by Harheart239. Because both of those islands have sort of an interesting origin story. Of course, Wobblin Island was actually created by Wubbox to serve as a home base for its new family of supernatural monsters, the Wobblins. Consideration was given at the time of the island's creation to accommodations for those Wobblins. Lots of nooks and crannies, lots of dens and burrows and little lean-tos, and then lots of sort of very comfortable accommodations for the Wobblins. And Celestial Island is also interesting because when it crash landed, of course, there's an awful lot of debris, a lot of wreckage associated with Celestial Island. So the very resourceful Celestials that were revived on Celestial Island, I think repurposed some of that debris, some of that wreckage into a complex of living quarters, of situations. But I don't think that those are visible on the surface of Celestial Island. They are perhaps in some sort of inner chamber, some sort of mechanism, perhaps making use of some of the broken down clockwork of the former Starhenge.
Very cool. On a similar note, Crabnorcar. Sorry if I pronounced that horribly. What do monsters do when you leave the game?
I'll tell you what they do, Crabnorcar. They wait with great anticipation for you to return. But they mostly do their own thing. Life goes on in the monster world when you're not there. But of course, they love to interact with their human caretakers to have their coins collected and for new monsters to be bred and all sorts of baking treats to be completed. So monsters love it when you play My Singing Monsters, and we do too.
Speaking of players, I believe we have the winners of everyone who participated in the giveaway this week, and we do have 2 winners this week to make up for the slight technical issues we have.
I would like everyone to give a big thank you to Monster Handler Sydney for making the magic happen. And allowing us to have 2 winners this week. So, what are the winners this week going to be receiving? Well, they're going to be receiving their choice of either a Rare Ruta Toot or a green Prismatic Cana. It will, of course, depend. Yes, it will, of course, depend on which BBB ID / friend code they send us, whether it's one from My Singing Monsters or Dawn of Fire. And we have the 2 winners. Monster Handler Eric, would you like to announce the first one, and I'll announce the second?
Sure. The first winner of the Rare Ruta Toot or Prismatic Green Cana, their choice is SLP Alex Gaming 2018.
Congratulations, SLP Alex Gaming. And the second winner of either of those prizes is Maddie939. Maddie939. Congratulations, Maddie939. Well, a little bit of a technically challenging show for us here on My Singing Monsters Live. But you know what? We had a really good run of pretty incident-free. You know what? There must just be too much going on this week. It sort of overwhelmed the internet, and it was too much for us to do. But you know what? We'll be back in full force for the next episode of My Singing Monsters Live. I'm hoping that we can end this episode the way that we usually do. We'll see if this wants to work. If we're finding that it doesn't work, we'll also save it for next week. But fingers crossed that we will be able to conclude this episode with an awesome creation from the community. And this is a Cloud Island piano cover by Cynthia Wijaya. So this is an awesome arrangement of the Cloud Island song from Dawn of Fire that they are performing, and they've also got some awesome resources on their YouTube channel about how to actually play along. So we hope that you enjoy this Cloud Island piano cover. We'll see you next week as we figure all this technical stuff out for episode 79 of My Singing Monsters Live. Eric, as always, a pleasure.
Yes, it was very good.
I don't even know if we can be seen right now, but that's okay. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to My Singing Monsters Live, and until next time, happy monstering.